Thanks for tuning in, Gopher fans. Got a lot to cover this week. Start off, we'll talk a little bit about the All-Star event. Earlier in the season, Brett had mentioned this was an opportunity he was really hopeful he would get in his senior year, so we're excited to see him get the chance to wrestle in the All-Star event. He wrestled great. It's a tough event, as you can imagine, when you go out and wrestle one of the top guys in the country, the first match of the season. So I thought Brett did very well. Always is ready, always composed. Great event and unique even from a coaching standpoint. Brent's a guy I've spent a lot of time with and got a good connection with. But most time on the road, you don't get a chance to spend one-on-one time with the guys. So that was awesome. Brett made me go to the movie Doctor Strange. Crazy movie. He gave it 2 thumbs up, so you got to see it. But other than that, we had a lot going on. We also had the Daktronics tournament this past weekend. Strong tournament. There was SDSU was there, Nebraska, Arizona State. Just a good quality opener for our guys. So starting off at 125, good results. Both our 25-pounders that competed did really well. Petrie took third. Lezak ended up winning the tournament, beat a Nebraska kid in the finals who was a tough opponent, so that was good. You know, Lezak's a hard guy to wrestle. We mentioned it before, everybody knows it, but he looks really strong at this point. Just a great mat wrestler, and really impressed with Petrie as well. The big thing for Petrie is he trains so physical, and so he's so prepared physically that he just has to go out and stay and open up and wrestle the pace that he's capable of doing. And when he does that, he does well. So a good start there. At 133, we had a few guys placed there. I guess the big one was McKee. McKee made the finals, lost to Gross, but wrestled a great tournament. You could see that he just is really wrestling well, good mat sense, and we were impressed the way he competed. 141, Tommy Thorne did not wrestle. Had an injury, burst a sac in his knee. He may be in for the Harold Nichols this weekend, but it's unlikely. So it was. We wish we could have seen him compete. But Gannon Volk, I thought, did a great job. A guy that just got back in the lineup, had been injured last year for a big portion of it. So it was awesome to watch him go out and just compete. And he really leaves it out on the line. So we were happy with the way that he was working out there. So couple tight losses, but he's doing a great job. So great there. 149, Stroker is a guy, I think about one guy I'd like to touch on. Good offense. I've seen him get in a lot of shots. He's got to tighten up his finishing, no doubt about it. But was a guy that, we hopefully continue to see some big improvements from him. 157, mentioned this earlier, this weight. We'd had a few guys that could be very competitive there. Short, lost in the finals. Did some great things. You got to just continue to open up. His offense is great when he pulls the trigger. Just got to continue to get him to build on that. But I thought he wrestled well and looked good. Bralsma did some good things as well. So the one, Larry Early, I thought struggled there. He's big for the weight. We've talked a little bit about moving him 165 initially. That's kind of where we hoped to see him earlier in the season. But he felt strong that 157 was a weight he could manage, get down to, and with his length and leverage would be a good spot for him. But right now we're talking a little bit about potentially moving him to 165 so he can manage the weight better and give himself better opportunities. And it's a spot where just honestly we need more depth for the team. So at 165, Kingsley, I thought wrestled really well at the beginning of the tournament, looked great, made it to the semis, got injured in the semifinals, wasn't able to finish the tournament. Don't think we'll see him this weekend at Northeast Duels. There's a chance, but it's unlikely. Should be back for the SDSU duel, which we'll need him there for sure. So Crone also wrestled well. Got some room for improvement. Is big as well, so at 165, so he's got to manage his weight, I think, a little bit better. At 174, we had a couple guys place. The big one, I guess, Wanzak took third place. Needs to continue to improve in some areas, but is working hard. 184, a few different things there. I guess Chris Farr, I thought, boy, the improvement he's had from last year to this season was big. It's great to see that. Real competitive, even in a match against Dudley, who was one of the top guys in the country. I thought he wrestled him really well compared to last year when we wrestled Nebraska. So that was great to see. A lot of guys are probably wondering, what about Bobby Stevenson? How come he was at 97? Just with the weight progression, the way that it worked, he couldn't get down to 84 until till Monday or Tuesday after the Daktronics Open. So it was tough for him, just in all fairness. He had to get down to 185 pounds basically, and then wrestled 197. So just for the progression. So this following weekend at the Northeast Duels, Bobby and Chris Farr, they'll both be at 184. And so Bobby had to be that low so that he could progressively get down to 184 this weekend. So it was a tough, I thought Bobby wrestled well, moved his hands, good hand fighting conditioning, looked well. No doubt continue to have to make improvements, but weighing in light and wrestling 197 did a good job. At 197, Brett Farr, again, he was out at the All-Star, so he didn't compete at the Daktronics, didn't get back in time, but Will Balo did a good job at 197, I thought. Heavyweight, Krails and Streifel both wrestled well. I thought Krails looked really, really good. He lost in the finals to Hall from Arizona State, who's a top-ranked guy. I think that's one, Krails, wants to get an opportunity to wrestle again. It'll be nice this weekend at Northeast Duels. Krails will get a chance to revenge that loss out there, so we'll see him again. And just kind of getting into the details of the Northeast Duels, if you haven't followed, it's a little bit different this year. It's not going to be a dual match. They're putting guys into pools, usually groups of 3 basically, where the individual wrestle a couple matches based on how he competes there. He'll cross bracket over to a different pool and wrestle a guy with the same record. So that'll be an exciting opportunity for Krails to revenge that match and go from there. Other exciting things about Northeast Duels, guys have been talking, we mentioned it. One guy we talked a little bit about bringing out early was McKee. We're going to do that. Mitchell will wrestle this weekend. I sat down and talked with him earlier in the week. He said he felt ready, he was excited, he wanted to compete, and we believe that he's capable of competing with the best guys in the country, so he'll be wrestling. So get a chance to watch him out there as well. So that should be exciting. We did match, I think it's kind of a nice fit as far as from a mentor standpoint. Dustin Slater will be working with Mitchell McKee. Dustin was a guy that wrestled as a true freshman, did very well. And so I couldn't have a better guy to work with him in that spot. So other than that, Northeast Duels, we'll have Petrie at 25, 33 we'll bring both Brand, Kale, and McKee. 41 will be Gannon, Volk. 49 Stroker. At 57 we're going to bring 2 guys. We'll bring Short and Bralsma. 65 we may not have a guy competing at there depending on how Kingsley's doing. 74 will be Wanzek. 84 we'll have both Chris Farr and Bobby, as I mentioned. 97 will be Brett. Krails we'll bring both Streifel and or at heavyweight we'll bring both Streifel and Krails. So that'll be our lineup going out there. They'll each be broken up in pools and get opportunities to compete. Last thing to talk about a little bit, just some positive things. No doubt about it, recruiting's been tough, just based on some of the uncertainty or things up in the air and just with the circumstances we've dealt with. But things are kind of finalizing there and coming to a close, so we're excited. I think the team's moved forward. They're doing well. I like the way they're bonding and sticking together. And no doubt about it, we won't have our full lineup this first semester. It's going to make situations like this SDSU duel very tough when you look at it without having a lineup. They did great against Iowa State. So, we really need guys to step up. But the most important thing is we're just trying to focus on the individual guys, getting them better every week and every day. And when we get a chance to get our full lineup in January, we think we should be wrestling very well at that point. So it's just one day at a time. I don't think it's a mystery to anybody, some of the battles we're dealing with right now. But again, I'm proud of where the guys are and what they're doing. That's exciting. One of the things we got to do if we want to compete and get back to the very top, it's about having the right resources and doing things right. I had an opportunity to have dinner with a group of donors here a week ago. Very exciting. One of the things we need to do if we want to compete at that level is continue to develop your club. By doing that, you have more resources. Guys can wrestle with some of the best guys in the country. Having guys both freestyle and Greco that are competing for world and Olympic titles is what I'm talking about. Getting those guys in there is great from a recruiting advantage. Recruits want to wrestle with those guys, but to do these things, it means you got to have financing and funding. And so met with a good group that's super motivated. that understands a plan. We're putting that together, try to get ourselves back on top here, in the years coming up. And so recruiting wise, a lot of reasons people will want to come to this university. Great university, great resources, great degree, great facilities coming up. But now we're also looking at building our freestyle program and trying to get that back to the top. So a lot of information there. I hope that kind of helps you guys see where we're moving forward, and we'll look forward to talking to you next week. Thanks for tuning in.